This guy is a wrecking machine, and he's hungry.
All of you chumps are gonna bow. I'm gonna show you how great I am.
Money.
You're listening to The Real Estate Debate with Mr. Credit on AM 760 KFMB. If you'd like to contact Mr. Credit, visit mrcredit.org.
All right, welcome to The Real Estate Debate. Mr. Credit here, your host. This is where we debate the hottest topics in San Diego real estate with some of the best local professionals, I might add. Judging today's show is, you know him as Sean the Mortgage Geek from SeanTheMortgageGeek.com. It's Sean Cahan from RPM Mortgage. How you doing, Sean?
I'm doing excellent. How are you doing today?
Doing very good. We got a very interesting show today. I actually love all of our contestants today. We've got two past winners of the show. We've got two people who have arguably won in the past but didn't actually walk away with the trophy.
Two past winners.
Brian Curry's won before. Jim Tyner's won before. Nice. Rob Cunningham, a lot of people thought he won the last time he was on. Nicole Hazelton, a lot of people thought she won the last time she was on. So we've got a really good group in here today. Should be an awesome show. The challenge format is in full effect. I expect to see a sea of red today. Should be a whole lot of fun, my friend.
Yeah, definitely. I'm looking forward to it, and I want to see these new challenge flags.
Well, you're the judge. You're the hard job. Okay.
I'm looking forward to it.
You have to be the one who tells us who won these things. So
that would be too hard.
Yeah. Sometimes it's tough, man. So looking forward to the show. Let's jump into the Mortgage Minute before we introduce our contestants today. I wanted to kind of get an idea on what's going on in the world of jumbo. I know that's a big thing for you over at RPM. And by the way, Sean Cahan, SeanTheMortgageGeek.com, is the #1 producer for RPM Mortgage, which is pretty. Congratulations, by the way, for that accomplishment. What's going on in the jumbo market right now?
Opening up new guidelines and allowing higher LTVs. They have 85% no mortgage insurance jumbo products, which everyone thought would never come.
Yeah.
And then also even the second lien position holders are coming up and getting larger loan amounts, higher LTVs. So you can do like almost an 80-10-10. It's an 85 right now, up to 1.2 million, with only a 700 credit score. So
wow,
it's opening up a lot.
Well, this is important because as property values continue to climb,
correct,
more and more people have to look into jumbo financing. So if that's something you have a question about, Sean Cahan, SeanTheMortgageGeek.com, he's got this stuff nailed down. You can go to SeanTheMortgageGeek.com to find out more and contact Sean there. You ready to introduce our contestants?
Yes.
Okay. Playing today, contestant #1, Nicole Hazelton is here from
you.
Hazelton Associates. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
You loving having your own shop?
I'm loving it.
YourSDHome.com, right?
Correct.
All right. It's a great website, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah, and you're awesome.
It's improving also. Stand by January.
Stand by. Okay, great stuff. Well, we're grateful to have you back.
Thank you.
You're a veteran of the show. You answered the call of duty on short notice. We appreciate that. And a lot of people thought you won last time. So I got to think that you're feeling like you have a really good chance today.
I'm hoping so. I'm going to keep my challenge flag close by.
Oh, she's got it. She's ready to fire away, folks. Well, it's great to have you, Nicole. Thanks for being here. Also, Jim Tyner is here today with the Home Solutions Group and homesandloans.net. Jim, how you doing, man?
Good. Thanks for having me, Derek.
Yeah, you're one of only 3 undefeated real estate debate competitors.
Wow, man, I am honored.
You're 1-0. Your very first time, you took the Golden Microphone Trophy home. We've done a few different things now since then, so now you get a custom trophy. Today, you actually could win a 760 KFMB mug,
sweet,
as well as an Amazon gift card. So there's a lot of stuff in the kitty these days, Jimmy.
Hey, I'm impressed. I mean, we are moving up in the world, Derek.
You got it. We appreciate you being here, Jim.
No problem.
Also, Rob Cunningham, Mr. Suspenders is here.
Hey, thanks for having me.
What's up? Rob with Remax. Rob, what's your website?
RobCthekey.com.
RobCthekey.com. Nice. I knew it was something cool. I just couldn't remember.
You think that's cool?
Yeah, I do think it's cool.
I'm glad somebody does.
And if you search Rob Cunningham, Remax, if you just Google that, you'll find Rob there. You're a real estate debate veteran.
Yes.
The last time you were on the show, everyone thought you won. I mean, I got tore up at the happy hour because everyone was like, how come Rob didn't win? What happened? So you got to feel pretty good about your chances today, man.
I was here to just have fun with it until I saw that coffee cup, the 760 coffee cup. Are you kidding? That's on the line?
That's on the line, baby.
Now I'm here to play.
All right. He's serious, guys and gal. Just so y'all know. Rob, thanks for being here, man. Really appreciate
for
you.
having me.
Also, the past champion, Brian Curry, is here with Caldwell Banker and BrianCurry.com. Mr. Curry, how you doing, sir?
I'm great. It's good to be here.
I see the flag's already in your hand.
I don't know
Dude,
what to
you
do.
know
Do I throw it at a competitor? Do I throw it at the host? I don't know where to throw this thing. Somebody's going to lose an eye today.
The middle of the table would be ideal.
All right,
okay,
so I got a target now.
If it slides off the table, it still counts as a challenge. But you just got to get it out there. I expect that you will be challenging today. Then
I would be most apt to challenge.
Okay, he's thinking he's going to challenge. Well, let's go ahead and get this party started then. What we like to do to start off the real estate debate, by the way, you can listen to all past episodes at therealestatedebate.com, is we take a temperature of the market. So we ask our in-studio experts to tell us what's going on in the San Diego market using one word or phrase and explain. Essentially, we're asking them for the truth.
I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
We can handle the truth, and that's exactly what the show is all about. We guarantee to make you smarter than everyone else, and this is how we do it. Nicole Hazelton, you are up first. Please describe the current state of the San Diego real estate market using one word or phrase and explain. You have 30 seconds.
I would say that the market is neutral. Judging by the MLS numbers, we have about 8,700 active properties on the MLS in San Diego County, 4,247 pending, and last month in October we sold about 2,856. So if we're including pending properties, we're sitting at about 4.5% of inventory on the market. And I think with over 30,000 closed sales year to date, averaging about I think it was days on market 47, we're looking at a pretty neutral market.
Okay, so you think that's a pretty neutral market, 47 days, average market time, about, 4.5 months of inventory, did you say?
Yeah, including the pending properties. If you drop
pending.
it down to just active, it's about 3 months, and the absorption's at about, I think, 13% right now. 26% is considered a balanced market between sellers and buyers. So the numbers still point out to it being a seller's market, but I still feel it's neutral.
Okay, yeah, a lot of the little indicators are saying it's still a seller's market, but I like how you backed up your neutral market stance. Jim Tyner, please describe the current state of the San Diego real estate market using one word or phrase and explain.
Sure. I similar to you, young lady.
Nicole,
sorry. Got nervous there, but I think it's divided. Actually, I think you can look at the higher end as being pretty soft. Higher end market is not seeing the appreciation that we certainly were, and in some ways we are seeing some price depreciation in some small pockets. However, on the lower end, we're still seeing the pent up demand, and the sellers are still getting what they want. They're still getting multiple offers, and the values are still pretty strong.
Okay.
So I would say divided is the word.
You think it's divided across price points?
Divided across price points, yeah.
Okay. All right. That makes sense from Jim Tyner. Rob Cunningham, how would you describe the current state of the real estate market?
Well, I take your question literally, and I find the temperature to be like 98.6 degrees, or for our friends across the pond, 37 degrees Celsius. So that's a healthy temperature. So that leads me to believe that the market's in a very healthy state. To point out some numbers like Nicole did, I took a look at just the detached housing. And right now in San Diego County, there's 5,382 homes actively for sale. Now, if we take a look at the number of properties that went into escrow last month that moved into the pending category, it was 1,811. So within the last 30 days, 1,811 homes went into opened escrow. Now, if you do the math, that leaves us with about a 3% supply, or a 3-month supply of homes. NAR says that 6-month supply of homes is a normal marketplace. So, everything's there to kind of tilt it towards the sellers. It's a bit of a seller's market right now. The number that I like the most, actually, is if we take a look at the amount of homes that was listed within the last 30 days, we're looking at 1,718 homes. So, in the last 30 days, 100 more homes sold than came on the market.
Okay.
And we're sitting at a 3-month supply of homes on the market altogether. So I think it's a very healthy market just because some people had unrealistic expectations and had to reduce their price as they came to reality. I would hate to see that be a reflection of our current marketplace. It's a very healthy market.
Wow, really good stuff from Rob Cunningham with RE/MAX. You make very, very valid points there. Brian Curry with Coldwell Banker, how would you describe the current state of the market?
Temperamental. And by temperamental, and let's look at some numbers. And I went in a feature in the MLS called 10K. I don't know if anybody's familiar with 10K, but it's a feature in the MLS, and it's real-time MLS stats straight out of Paragon. So it's not NAR, it's not CAR, it's Paragon. It's what we're doing in San Diego County. Current median price of a listing in San Diego County is $515,000. However, the average list price in San Diego County is $735,000 at 45 days on market. Now, pretty big disparity between median and average, right? Here's the average sold median in October, since the beginning of the year to October of 2014, $440,000. So there's these massive spreads in the market right now. So here's the numbers from Q4 2013 to Q4 2014. The market volume, the volume of the market is down almost 17%. We're at a median price that's almost flatline from 443 to 440, almost a flatline median price, and we have 12% less inventory right now. So I'd say we're in a very temperamental market.
Interesting.
If it's a good property, if it's priced right and it has wow factor, it's going to move. If it's that's a real estate term, right? If it's one of those properties, it's going to sit for a while, and that absorption rate is going to leave 13% and probably go even a little bit higher.
Okay. Wow. Really, really good stuff. I tell you what, this is what I mean when I say we make you smarter than everyone else. It has nothing to do with me. It has everything to do with our in-studio experts who are bringing you really close to the real estate market here in San Diego. And not only will we make you smarter than everyone else, but when it comes to real estate, you can learn everything you need to learn right here on the show. And that is proof. Fantastic job in the opening segment. All right, coming up, we'll tell you what the score is. So check in with Sean Cahan, find out what the score is, and we'll have our rapid fire segment when we come back on the real estate debate. You're listening to AM 760 KFMB.
Welcome back to the Real Estate Debate with Mr. Credit on AM 760 KFMB.
All right, welcome back. You're listening to the Real Estate Debate. You can find out past episodes on therealestatedebate.com. Let's check in with our judge and see what the scores look like. Sean Cahan from SeanTheMortgageGeek.com. Sean, what does it look like?
We have Nicole in first place right now with 5 points.
Woo-hoo!
We got Jimmy at 2 points. Rob and Brian are tied at 4 points right now.
All right. Close match.
Yes.
So still anybody's game. That's Sean Cahan from SeanTheMortgageGeek.com who's judging today's debate. We're going to start our rapid fire segment with Jim Tyner. So Jim, you'll be up first in 5 seconds or less. Today's rapid fire topic is things I wish home buyers would not do. So I wish home buyers would not
be too jumpy. You've got time. Relax. Market's slower than it was 2 years ago, or within the last 2 years, so you're in good shape.
Okay. All right. Take your time. Rob Cunningham, I wish home buyers would not.
I wish home buyers would not show up to sign the loan docs while they're drunk. I don't know if the notary can allow that to happen.
Right?
So.
That happened often?
It's happened.
It's happened, he says.
They were excited about their house, man. Listen.
It's like, I'm not sure if we should do this or not. Let's drink. then it'll be fine. Brian Curry, I wish home buyers would not.
I gotta get over that one first. I wish home buyers would not.
Good.
I wish home buyers would not have so much faith in online comps.
Yeah.
Come to me. I'm transparent. I'll show you what the market's really doing.
Yeah, great stuff. Nicole Hazelton, I wish home buyers would not.
I wish they would not hire the first agent that they meet and maybe interview a few.
That's smart.
Yeah,
that's smart. Good. Bonus points, Sean. That's really, really smart. He was going to give you bonus points anyway. Yes. We're all on the same page. Jim Tyner, I wish home buyers would not.
I wish home buyers would not. I was going to say the agent thing, but yep, I'm out. Sorry. I thought there was only one.
Timed out. No one can even challenge that, Jim. Rob Cunningham, I wish home buyers would not.
I wish home buyers would not confuse or confuse themselves in the buying process by looking at irrelevant stats like the median housing price versus the average housing price and how it pertains to them.
I'm going to challenge
that. There it is.
I'm going to challenge that.
Hold on. Brian Curry has challenged Rob Cunningham's answer. Brian, you have 30 seconds to make your case.
Knowledge is power. And when we empower our clients with transparency of numbers, our clients are smart. They spend a lot of time online getting smart. So when they come to me, the expectation is that I'm going to be transparent with them. I'm going to show them what the market really looks like, give them that snapshot, and empower them with numbers. That's what they want these days.
Rob Cunningham, you have 30 seconds to rebut that.
What does the average home list price have to do with my client, where they're at with their position in life, whether that this property is more affordable for them than a rental, whether the tax write-offs are going to affect them in a negative or positive manner moving forward. It's a statistic that really holds no weight in this specific event.
Okay. Wow. 2 good cases. Sean, left or right, point in a direction. Who won that one?
I'm going to side with Rob.
Okay. Yep. Rob. So Rob, you're gonna win that challenge flag right there, my friend.
He's got juice now. He's
Right.
got 2.
Oh.
That's juice,
You
man.
can continue. Were you done with your point? You said you wish that homebuyers would not.
Oh, I
look
got
at
the
those
flag.
numbers.
I'm
He's
good.
He's
We can
good.
move on.
Okay, Brian Curry. I wish homebuyers would not.
Dude, I wish home buyers would not Google negotiating strategies and then tell me how to do my job.
Oh, that's great stuff. Nicole Hazelton. I wish homebuyers would not.
I wish they would not explore their neighborhoods. So I wish they would drive around more and learn about the neighborhoods they're interested in.
Yeah. Yep. In fact, I highly recommend you do that before looking at houses.
Absolutely.
Frankly, I mean, it makes a whole lot of sense. Jim Tyner. Hopefully, you've had enough time to
Think of
together an
something?
answer.
Yeah.
I wish homebuyers would not.
I wish home buyers would not expect to renegotiate the purchase price or the entire deal right after they get into escrow. Specifically, it's one thing to expect repairs to be done, but I have clients who have thought of, well, if we just get this tie this up, I'm just going to beat them up after escrow, and that's not the right way to do it.
Yeah, that's not necessarily ethical. Rob Cunningham. I wish homebuyers would not.
I wish home buyers would not worry about having a quote unquote dumb question. I want you to be open and be transparent in questions that come to your mind, so we can have them taken care of and make you comfortable through the process. So there are no dumb questions.
Yeah, great stuff. Really, really appreciate that
No bonus
particular
point for
answer.
that?
Very close.
I'm kidding,
I
I'm
thought
kidding.
about it. I really did. But, Sean might give it to you.
Oh, he got
He
a
said
buzz.
no. Brian Curry. I wish homebuyers would not.
Forget my name when they go to open houses on Sunday without me.
That's been
There's
happening
And bring a
lot.
There's a
business
lot
card.
of agents out there that are,
That's been happening a lot
Yeah, it
lately.
happens.
It really
It does.
has. It's been happening a lot. Nicole Hazelton. I wish homebuyers would not.
I wish they would not look at property before getting pre-approved with their lender.
Oh, yeah. You can't do that.
That's kind of the given, right?
Yeah, bonus points there. I think you're going to get from Sean on that one. You can't do that. It puts everyone under serious pressure, and a lot of times those deals just don't work out. It's not a
They
good
just
thing
get
to
their
do.
hopes up.
Yeah, it's not cool. It's not cool. Jim Tyner. I wish homebuyers would not.
Sign real estate documents they don't understand.
Yeah. Yep. No question. Rob Cunningham. I wish homebuyers would not.
I wish home buyers would stop trying to set me up on dates with their friends and family.
Really?
Oh yeah.
So you're just swimming in the ladies then, huh?
I'm not gonna say that.
flags.
Well,
and
sounds like
ladies.
you're
turning it down ahead of time here. Brian Curry. I wish homebuyers would not.
Be just on the market. I want my home buyers in the market.
Yeah.
I want them to be strategic and have a plan.
Yeah, makes sense. And our final answer for this segment, Nicole Hazelton. I wish homebuyers would not.
I wish they would not go into the cabinets of the listings we look at and eat the cookies.
Oh boy.
It has happened.
Wow. That's so wrong in so many ways. I think you actually get to legally slap someone when they do that. And if that rule doesn't exist, why, it definitely should. All right, coming up, one of my favorite segments, Agree or Disagree. You're listening to The Real Estate Debate on AM 760 KFMB, where we'll make you smarter than everyone else. It's guaranteed. Stick around.
Welcome back to The Real Estate Debate with Mr. Credit on AM 760 KFMB.
All right, welcome back to The Real Estate Debate. Find out more at therealestatedebate.com. We're halfway through the show. It's time to check in with our judge today, Sean Cahan from RPM Mortgage, and Sean, themortgagegeek.com. Sean, what are the scores looking like, my friend?
Tied for first, Nicole and Rob with 10.
Wow.
Yep. We got Brian in third or second, and Jimmy, we got you in last place. You
Hey,
gotta
listen,
come
that's
up
okay.
here.
How many points does Brian have?
Brian has 8.
So Brian has 8. Where's
has
Jimmy
5.
at? Jimmy's at 5.
I got 8 points and no flags. Brian is a lonely
Now,
boy.
Sean, you weren't counting the flags yet, right?
No, I'm not counting the
Okay,
flags
good,
yet.
because at the end, the flags are all worth 2 points, so let's keep that in mind as well. So technically, Rob would win the tiebreaker. Whoever has the most flags at the end would win, and if there's a tie in points, whoever had more flags wins. And if there's a tie after that, then it goes to the judge's hands. So that's how that all works. Okay, great stuff, Sean. Appreciate you bringing that to us. Rob is actually going to start this segment. It's called Agree or Disagree.
Time now for Agree or Disagree.
Can't we just settle this over a pint?
Agree?
Yes! Yes!
Or disagree.
To call you stupid would be an insult to stupid people.
Let's get it on!
Okay, Rob, it's time for Agree or Disagree. All you have to do is tell me whether you agree or disagree with this statement and why. You've got about a minute apiece to make your case. Right now, many self-employed borrowers are shut out of the home buying market because of tight lending standards. If it weren't for this, the real estate market would be much stronger. Agree or disagree?
Disagree. Strongly. So if we look at the converse of this, what we're really looking at is if we want to loosen up lending standards for self-employed people, what we're looking at is going back to stated income. And I don't think having to prove to the person that's going to lend you $500,000 that you have an ability to repay that loan is asking too much. I think if they did loosen up the standards and allowed people to get loans more easily, it may actually cause an inverse and put more people in the market that shouldn't be in the market and buying properties that they really shouldn't afford. Like if you are self-employed and you can prove your income and you're not taking write-offs to the hills, then you can buy a home.
Okay.
Simple as that.
Okay. Fair enough. Rob disagrees. Brian Curry, many self-employed borrowers are shut out of the home buying market today because of tight lending standards. If it weren't for this, the real estate market would be much stronger. Agree or disagree?
Neutrally agree. So here's what I think. I think a lot of stated income buyers don't really know. I would like to see a true stat on how many self-employed applications actually didn't go through. Because there's specific strategies. If you own 24% or less of your business at a 50% debt-to-income ratio and a few other 2 years of tax returns and a couple other subsidiary qualification standards that will put a lot of those people into the market that aren't in the market. And I think the stigma is, can't get a loan, I'm self-employed. So statistically, I'd like to know actually the number of applications versus the number of denials, because I think that if you have a strategy, you get with a professional, a mortgage professional, and you go in there with a strategy 1 year in advance, there's no reason we can't get those people loans.
Okay. All right. I totally understand that side of it as well. So we've got a disagree and an agree so far. Nicole Hazelton, many self-employed borrowers are shut out of the home buying market today because of tight lending standards. If it weren't for this, the real estate market would be much stronger. Agree or disagree?
I agree to disagree.
Okay.
I agree that it would improve things for the short term, but in the long term, I agree with Rob 100% that, in 2004, stated income, stated asset, and stated income verified asset loans were all the rave, and incomes were stated for, manicurists making $117,000 a year. And there was a great article that came out from Rolling Stones in the beginning of November about Elaine Fleischman, who was doing quality control for JP Morgan Chase in 2006. And what they were trying to do was bulk all of these stated income verified asset loans into a package to sell them as mortgage-backed securities. And what she was realizing is that 40% of those were overstated incomes. 33% of the 40% were overstated for the industry that the professional was in. So she actually had that quote about a manicurist. That was a real scenario on a loan. And working backwards, I think 7 days a week, she'd have to be working 488 days a year to actually make that make sense. So in San Diego County, you're looking at a median price sold price at $440,000, and then your average, I think, homeowner U.S. Census in 2013 was making $68,000 a year, average household income. And so, I mean, do the math. UT released an article in May that said if you wanted to afford a $500,000 mortgage in San Diego, you've got to be making $100,000 a year. So I agree with Rob 100%. I think that if we loosened our lending guidelines for self-employed borrowers, we would repeat history.
Okay. Repeat a bad history. It was a very bad history. In fact, Jim Tyner, I would like to know whether you agree or disagree with this statement. Many self-employed borrowers are shut out of the home buying market today because of tight lending standards. And when I say tight lending standards, what I really mean is that they don't necessarily show as much income on their tax returns. That's what we really mean. And you have to fully qualify these days. If it weren't for this, the real estate market would be much stronger. Agree or disagree?
I disagree. And first, that's because there are currently home loans programs on the market. Sean, I'm sure, knows that will base your credit decision on assets as opposed to income. You can also, there's programs out there that if you purchased with all cash, you could refinance the day after you purchase that home into something different. So there are creative loan programs out there specifically geared towards self-employed people. So I don't know that many folks who actually could afford a home are not getting one just because they're self-employed and because they don't show income in their tax returns. Second, there obviously are loan programs out there that have if you show 2 years tax history, you can get a loan. So it's not like they're not allowing them anymore. And finally, there's just the proportion or percentage of self-employed buyers is relatively small compared to the overall buyer pool, and it mostly affects kind of the higher end homes. So generally, self-employed folks have a bit more money than you would buy in a $100,000 condo. So it affects a smaller segment. So to say that it would affect the entire real estate market much more than or make the real estate market that much stronger, I think is overblown.
Okay. There are a lot of self-employed people in Southern California, right? I think there's a lot of self-employed people here, probably more so than anywhere else in the country. And by the way, I'm just open conversation. I'm not attacking you, Jim.
No, but I think there's a percentage of
there are a lot of self-employed people that makes up a lot of the people who are buying houses. Not everyone's got the husband and wife that are professors at the university, deal. Although that's an easy deal to get done. That's not the common deal that's done. And I think what's missing, and Sean, I'd like to get your 2 cents on this, honestly, because what's missing in my mind is this, and this is the reason why I chose this statement, because there isn't a formula that is used for people who are self-employed that makes sense. In other words, okay, you're self-employed. So instead of looking at your tax returns, we're going to look at your bank statements. We're going to look at your deposits. We're going to actually look at how much money's coming in, how much money's going out in a much more simplified manner so that you can have a way for someone who is self-employed to get an FHA loan, to get a conventional loan, et cetera. Sean, what do you have to say about that, my friend? Is there programs like that exist?
Well, there's asset-based programs like I mentioned, but
there's actually more and more self-employed. Like we only require 1 year tax return up until October 16th of 2012. It was only a 1 year tax return. It's just most banks had an overlay. We did not have an overlay, so I only asked for 1 year tax return. Then when it switched over and DU switched over to a 2 year tax return, Freddie Mac came back and said, hey, we're just going to, as long as you have 5 years self-employed history, we'll downgrade it to a 1 year tax return. So they're definitely still available. I think it's really important that you know who you're actually working with, because half of the loan officers don't know how to underwrite a tax return compared to, I'll get a borrower that had 39 LLCs and I had to make sense of it all and I just put it onto a spreadsheet, but I specialize in underwriting tax returns. So really the self-employed borrowers just need to go to somebody who knows what they're doing.
Okay.
Sean,
Brian, you're dying to say something.
Yeah, I am. Strategic, or I said neutral, agree. So strategically, Sean, and this is a question for Sean because he's in the industry, if I bring in balance sheets, tax returns, and schedules, and profit and loss, because we know as self-employed, we're taking every deduction we possibly can. And again, this is about strategy.
Right.
But if I bring in those specific documents for an underwriting requirement, am I getting them over the hump that way, Sean?
No, because what you file.
What else do we need?
We need to see a tax return. A profit and loss on the balance sheet is only there to support what's already filed.
So the cumulative package.
But nothing's actually, you cannot use a future income because you have not actually reported it yet. Mm-hmm. So it's just there for supporting data.
Okay. So it's a full package
Plus
strategy.
It hasn't been audited, or most likely.
Yeah.
The best thing for a self-employed person to do is to meet with their lender and come up with a strategy for the next 2 years
of
how much they shouldn't be writing off to save on taxes.
Yeah, let's get them in
how much they should be paying themselves.
Depreciation, amortization. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of different things that most people don't even realize that you can add back. You can lower your tax basis, but increase your cost, your purchasing power by meeting with a mortgage professional beforehand or dealing with a proper CPA instead of just saying, oh, I need to pay my taxes at $100,000 to qualify. Well, do you have depreciation? Do you have amortization? Mm-hmm. Do you have others, don't write off meals and entertainment because you only get credit for 50%, but I have to hit you for the other 50%. So that's kind of a waste. Mm-hmm. So it's just kind of really realizing what your expenses are and filing them in the right category.
Okay, thanks for jumping in. That's our judge for today's debate, Sean Cahan from SeanTheMortgageGeek.com. I wanted to bring him in because we got through that topic so quickly. No one challenged anybody, which was surprising to me. I would have definitely thrown my flag if I had had one to throw. But here's what's really fun. Coming up, it's time for the win. Someone is going to walk away with the Golden Microphone Trophy. Someone's going to walk away with the 760 KFMB mug. Someone's going to walk away with the Amazon gift card. And this is a new segment. It's hostility versus the host. I'm going to say something that's kind of against the real estate industry, and our in-studio guests are going to all attack me. We'll see how this goes. When we come back, we'll have fun. It's the Real Estate Debate, AM 760 KFMB.
Welcome back to the Real Estate Debate with Mr. Credit on AM 760 KFMB.
All right, welcome back to the Real Estate Debate. You can find out more at therealestatedebate.com. Look up past shows. You can actually watch them all there, too. We record them all. There's videos. There's the MP3s. If you want to get smarter than everyone else, go to therealestatedebate.com. Let's check in with our judge, Sean Cahan from SeanTheMortgageGeek.com. Sean, what do the scores look like heading into the final segment here for the win?
Oh, we got Nicole Stone first place. She took it. 15 points. We have Rob at 13. Okay. Brian, you were at 12. And Jimmy, you're at 8.
Okay. So pretty much, Jim, just not that I'm coaching you here, but you got to challenge someone.
Hey, listen.
I mean, basically.
I got this red flag.
Now here's the thing. I should make it
known.
And
I'm going to use it, dang it.
Because not everyone can see unless you're watching the video. Rob has 2 challenge flags. So even though he might be behind by 2 points, him and Nicole are actually tied once you put that in at the end of the show. So here's what's interesting about this segment. It's brand new. I just came up with it. Hostility versus the host. Brian Curry, you're going to start. I'm going to say something that you probably don't want to hear, and then you're going to potentially argue with me about it. Now, if you totally agree with me, then you can tell me why you agree with me, but I highly doubt you will.
I would rather argue with you.
Here's what I'm going to say. It makes more sense to rent a home over $1 million in San Diego than it does to buy one.
I'm going to quote a guy that I've been on the radio with a couple times that has said specifically, if you have a very specific outlook and strategy in San Diego County, your hedge against inflation in San Diego County is purchasing a home. Now, I ran some basic numbers. I have a $1 million home in San Diego, rents for anywhere between $6,500 and $7,500 a month, approximately, give or take, right, depending on location and a few other specifics of amenities. If you have 40% down on $1 million purchase, generally speaking, your payment's going to be under $4,000, and that's including taxes.
That would be $400,000, by the way.
$400,000.
So you got to have $400,000.
So you got to have a lot of money.
Yep.
But up in that $1 million market, there is a lot of money. So if you have a specific strategy, and you're here long term, and this is a long term, short term question as well, I think you're much further ahead to purchase a home. Now, this is based on, the oldest mantra in real estate is still location, location, location. If you want to hedge your inflation, your bet against inflation in San Diego County with good location, purchase, don't rent.
Yeah, well, in some cases, houses that are $1 million, Del Mar, a lot of Carlsbad, those areas, those houses are only renting for like $4,000, $3,800. So those are the ones I'm talking about, just to clarify. Nicole Hazelton, it makes more sense to rent a home over $1 million in San Diego than it does to buy, says me. What say you?
I say it makes more sense to buy.
Okay.
And I think it depends on where you're buying in the county and what you're buying. Because if you're buying into a condo, you're probably going to have HOA dues every month. If you're buying into a planned unit development, you might have Melrose fees to add to your taxes on a yearly basis.
Sounds like you're making the argument for me here.
Yeah, but although I think you have to take like versus like for $1 million versus what you can rent it for. And so case study, Windermere Community in La Jolla, you can buy a $1 million property for, it's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home, 2,000 square feet. That would rent for $3,500 a month, which is kind of the rents that you're talking about.
Yep.
So you can rent for $3,500 a month, or you can jumbo finance, maybe with 15% down, like Sean was saying in the beginning, with no mortgage insurance, and I think your interest is going to be roughly, what did I put? $2,600 a month. And you do have to have a substantial down payment, but you're looking at over $30,000 a year in tax or in interest write-off, and then you're looking at over $11,000 a year in tax write-off, and you're also going to have appreciation. So
Hopefully.
Hopefully. Well, San Diego Association of Realtors said that San Diego increased 4.5% last year. Now, every micro market's different in San Diego. Some have appreciated more, some have appreciated less, some have depreciated.
And when you get to that $1 million market, it changes a lot.
It
like
changes.
the house itself, if something were to change, from the micro aspect of the neighborhood, you could, be down $100,000 pretty easily.
You could, but real estate's a long-term investment, especially if you're buying as a primary resident. So you have to also look at how you can avoid capital gains by owning the property for over 2 years as a primary residence. You can gain up to $500,000 if you're a couple, or $250,000 if you're single before you sell it. And I think at the end of the day, when you're renting, you're paying Uncle Sam and you're paying someone else's mortgage. And when you're buying, you're paying your own mortgage, and you have the potential to appreciate.
Boy, it'll be interesting to see if Sean gives you bonus points for the capital gains. No capture on the capital gains point. Jim Tyner, I say it makes more sense to rent a home over $1 million in San Diego than it does to buy one. What do you say?
Not if you plan on staying in San Diego long term. I think money's cheap right now. If you are purchasing a $1 million plus property, you're going to most likely need a jumbo loan, and that money is cheap to finance, and it's cheap to leverage that amount. Now, if you're going to stay in San Diego for 5 years or less, I would use 5 years as kind of your benchmark. Then I think it makes more sense to rent at that point, only because we have a lot of volatility in the market, number one, and number two, we don't know exactly where interest rates are going to go in the future. And at $1 million plus, we have a lot of dependency on a low interest rate. And so
I'm glad you agree with me, Jim. Thank you.
Well, you're welcome. I only agree with you as long as you're not going to stay here very long.
I'm just messing with you. No, yeah. If you have a long-term outlook, you have to own real estate. There's no question about that. And I should have prefaced with that. You're absolutely right. In a short-term circumstance, especially over $1 million, it makes more sense to rent. Rob Cunningham, I think that it makes more sense to rent a home over $1 million in San Diego than it does to buy one. What do you think?
I agree with you. I hands down agree with you. And I want to look at a word today, opportunity cost. So we have our $200,000 down payment to put on our $1 million home, followed by $20,000 in closing costs and a $4,000 mortgage payment. So to get your foot in the $1 million door, you're out $224,000. Now, what can you do? Where can you invest that $224,000 that may see A, greater appreciation as the market does appreciate, or B, a better monthly return in terms of your investment? You guys want to use a real personal example? We can look at myself. I live in $1 million home, and I pay $3,000 a month for my rent. Right? And it cost me $10,000 to move in and take on this lifestyle. Well, I'm not missing any market appreciation because I'm still out buying rental properties, right? I'm buying rental properties that not only are paying for themselves, but are giving money month in and month out. So I think for your lifestyle, you should rent it. And for your investment, you should be looking at investments that are going to appreciate and give you a return on that investment.
Kaboom! I don't have to say anything else. So that was very, very well put. And while Sean tallies up the scores and tells us who won, keep in mind, Sean, that Brian Curry does not have any flags. Rob Cunningham has 2 flags. Jim Tyner.
Hey, wait, I'm challenging Nicole.
It's too late.
Oh, man.
Jim Tyner has a flag and Nicole has 1 flag. And I do want to thank all of our in-studio guests.
Sticky Skittles.
I do want to thank our in-studio guest, Nicole Hazelton from Hazelton & Associates. Really appreciate you being here today from yoursdhome.com. Jim Tyner, thank you so much for joining us today from homesandloans.net. And Rob Cunningham with RE/MAX. And what's the cool website again, Rob?
Rob C. The Key. ROB, the letter C, thekey.com.
There it is. Rob C. The Key. Rob Cunningham with RE/MAX, and Brian Curry with Coldwell Banker and BrianCurry.com. Brian, you're always a great competitor. Really appreciate you being here.
Love being here. Thanks, sir.
Awesome. Great stuff. Sean, do we have, have you got the calculator out? Do we know who has won the debate?
We had a tie at the end here.
Uh-oh.
Rob came up, and I really liked his stance on the investment and the $1 million. He did have 2 extra flags, but Nicole actually kept her flag as well, so they were tied for points. But I think overall, Nicole won the debate.
Okay, so
right. There you go.
Nicole Hazelton.
Win.
Well, another controversial decision. I think everyone did fantastic. We really appreciate you all being here. Remember, you can check out everything Real Estate Debate at therealestatedebate.com. Stick around for Talking Money with Mr. C right here on KFMB 760 AM. We'll be right back.